And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty. See? So what's that sharp sword that's coming out of his mouth? That his vessel gonna be drenched with blood. Surely you've heard it. Let's hear it again. For this judgment, as he judged and make war. 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. And start at 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved, all the waves thereof. He's having a vision. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. 200 million angels. Thousands of heaven are these angels. Chariots of the Most High. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. When he turned his, remember, he's not coming as a man. He said, I will not meet you as a man. He's coming to his angelic power. Everything gonna tremble that's under him. And then he's gonna be above them. Coming from the fourth dimension, he's gonna be above them. Everything trembled that was seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, he gonna smite the nations, kill the nations by the sword of his mouth. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. They're gonna burn up that hear his voice. Like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. Because he coming with fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, out of number, from the army, the navy, the marines, the air force, of all nations. That's what it says, from the four winds of the heaven, from the four corners of the earth, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Subdue him, h.o.d.c. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. This mountain are the reserved, the ransom, the remnant, the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. But I would have seen the region or a place where out the hill was graven, and I could not, because it wasn't a hill. It was the children of Israel. The remnant, that's going to be redeemed. After this I beheld, and lo, all they were which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid. They're going to be afraid, and yet just fight. Yet they're going to fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, but nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth. That's what it says. Out of his mouth shall come a sharp sword. He sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one. See that? He reserving man, one of them, just like he did with Pharaoh and his army, and burned them up. Only this time it's not going to be with water, it's going to be with fire. And burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. And nothing going to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So when we see this, we became afraid. Whew. So that's how it was going down. That's the results of the nations coming against Mashiach Yahushua, as he come with his angelic power to fulfill what it is that is written. It's the good news gospel. It's beautiful. Exodus 24:17, in the sight of the glory of the Most High was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud. See? Moses went into the midst of the cloud. and got him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. See, just to show you, since people think that Moses was dealing directly with the Most High, no, we always had an angel of the Most High that was always between us and him. That's why it tells you in St. John 1 in the first chapter in the 18th verse. No man has seen the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, at any time. The only begotten Son, who is the angel of the Most High in the Old Testament, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him, see, as the word of the Most High, as it is written. So from there, let's look at 1 Thessalonians, 4th chapter. 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. And the 16th verse. For the Most High, as he sent a Mashiach h.o.d.c, himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trumpet of the Most High. And the dead that have died by Hashem Mashiach h.o.d.c in the name of the Lord and Savior shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. See? Them vehicles, the chariots of the Most High. Them chariots that's coming to get us. Most High will. If we're worthy to be redeemed as a part of the 1/3. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet Mashiach h.o.d.c to the glory of the Most High in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Most High while Mashiach h.o.d.c. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. That's what we're working for. Which it ain't going to be written in the book of life. To receive everlasting life. So, look at 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. And 2nd Ezra 7 and 32, I believe. Let's see. 2nd Ezra 7. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 7th chapter. And 2nd Ezra 7 and 32. Yeah. 2nd Ezra 7 and 32. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her. And you just said, those that died in the name of the Lord and Savior. The earth will restore those that are asleep in her. And so shall the dust those that dwell in silence. And the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away. And long suffering shall have an end. For judgment only shall remain, truth, which is the commandments of the Most High. Psalms 119, 142, that righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. But judgment only shall remain, truth, the laws of the Most High shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed, and the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall be no rule. So all you wicked, you're not going to have no rule at this time. The righteous is going to rule forever and ever and ever. Okay? So, this is what's so beautiful. Now, from there, let's look at 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, in the Apocrypha. And we're going to look at 2nd Ezra 2 and 16. Just showing you that, you know, a lot of times people say the Apocrypha is not legit. 2nd Ezra 2 and 16, I like to show you that the same analysis that we're looking at in the regular Bible, the Revised Version, 1611 King James Bible. Same thing in the Apocrypha. 2 Ezra 2 and 16. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places, and bring them out of the graves, for I have known my name in Israel. Hear that? For I know my name in Israel. Say, fear not, thou mother of the children, for I have chosen thee, said the Most High, chose the Israelites. For thy help will I send my servants, Isaiah and Jeremiah, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits. Representing the 12 tribes of Israel, dealing with different types of fruits to bring us the understanding of what we need to know concerning the Most High. So, I want to look at verse 31. It says, remember thy children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth, and show mercy unto them, for I am merciful, said the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua Almighty. See? He says, remember the children that sleep, right? So you look, a lot of times people be trying to, every time somebody pass or they die, they always want to act like it's something negative. It's not always negative. Understand this. Go to Isaiah 57 and 1. It say the righteous perishes, meaning they die. And no man layeth it to heart. No man layeth to his mind. And merciful men are taken away. None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. People don't consider that. But you hearing what the Most High is saying right here. Right now. In your flesh. In the spirit of the Most High revealing it, that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. A lot of the righteous are taken away from the evil to come. So everybody dies not just because the Most High is bringing evil upon them, but it sent evil angels to them to deal with them in a certain way. Some of the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. How about that? They don't have to see the evil that's coming. Like Daniel. Look at Daniel. Go to Daniel. Matter of fact, we need to go to Daniel anyway. Go to Daniel, the 12th chapter. Look at Daniel's 2 and verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. See, that's the judgment. Some that sleep in the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some will come to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Some to shame and everlasting contempt. But this is for Daniel. We're going to deal with that. Some going to come to everlasting life. Some going to come to everlasting contempt. So look at the last verse of Daniel. Daniel 12:13. He told him, he said, but go thou thy way till the end be. Till the end be. Till the judgment is set. And it's the end. The very end of this world that we in now. For thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. See? Daniel will rest and stand in his lot to the end of the days. He ain't got to come back to this wicked place. Look at Revelation 14 and 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying, Revelation 14 and 13, I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right, blessed are the dead which die Shama Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior. From henceforth, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them, as the judgment is coming. Okay? Now, go to Revelation 20 and 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. The books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. Like he said, everlasting, what it said in Daniel's, to everlasting life or everlasting contempt. Daniel's 12 and 2. So, Revelation 20 and 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works, what you've done in these mortal bodies. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Death and hell will be cast into the lake of fire. And whosoever was not found written, this is what this is all about. No matter what anyone tell you, this is what it's all about. It says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So if your name's not written in the book of life, you're going to be cast into the lake of fire, as it is written. That's what it's all about. Working so that our names to be written in the book of life. It'll live forever and ever and ever. In a righteous kingdom, not this wicked madness that we see in these kingdoms now. It'll be a righteous kingdom. People's minds gonna be right to deal with the unrighteous anymore. It's gonna be beautiful. Just a moment.